When my best friend ordered pizza with pineapple, I knew her husband was listening. Jenna had hated pineapple pizza since we were 12, when Hawaiian pizza at summer camp made her violently sick for 3 days. 18 years later, she still refused to touch it. So when she called Friday evening suggesting we order from Romano's and specifically requested extra pineapple on her half, my entire body went cold. I asked her to repeat that, pretending I'd misheard. She said it again, her voice too bright, too cheerful, the way you sound when someone's listening. Extra pineapple, she repeated, and maybe some jalapenos too. The jalapenos were normal. The pineapple was a warning. I told her 7 sounded great and asked what time Derek would be home. She said 8, so we'd have time to catch up first. The way she emphasized his schedule felt deliberate, like she was giving me information to decode. I hung up and pulled out my old photo album, flipping to summer camp pictures. There we were at 12, making vomiting faces at a pizza box. Jenna had written in silver marker across the bottom, "Death to pineapple pizza." I took a picture and sent it to her with a question mark. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Her response came through, "LOL, can't believe I used to be so dramatic. People change." But Jenna didn't change about food. She still ordered her coffee the same way since college. She still refused cilantro because it tasted like soap. She didn't randomly start liking something that had made her sick. I spent the next hour trying to figure out what the pineapple meant. We'd never established a code word or signal, never discussed what to do if one of us was in danger, but we'd been best friends for so long that we had shorthand for everything. The pineapple thing wasn't a joke though. It was a universally known fact about Jenna, which meant if she was deliberately saying the opposite of what was true, she was signaling something. I thought about the last few months, how Jenna had been pulling away gradually. Canceled plans, shorter phone calls, always with plausible excuses about Derek's work schedule or home renovations. I'd attributed it to normal life stuff, to the way friendships shift when people get married, but now I was remembering smaller things I'd dismissed. The weight loss, her face looking drawn in photos she rarely posted anymore, the time I dropped by unannounced 2 months ago and Derek had answered the door, saying Jenna was napping and couldn't be disturbed, the fact that she'd stopped coming to book club without explanation. I pulled up her Instagram and scrolled through recent posts. Everything was couple photos, her and Derek at restaurants or his company events. In every picture, his arm was around her. She was smiling, but I zoomed in on her eyes. The smile didn't reach them. They looked flat, empty. I called my sister Lauren, who was a family therapist. I explained the pineapple situation as calmly as I could, trying not to sound hysterical. Lauren listened without interrupting and asked careful questions. Had I noticed any bruises? Had Jenna mentioned feeling afraid? Had Derek displayed aggressive behavior? I answered no to all of them, feeling increasingly foolish. But Lauren's voice stayed serious. She told me coercive control doesn't always leave visible marks, that isolation was often the first sign, and that if my instinct was screaming something was wrong, I needed to trust it. She suggested I go to dinner but stay alert, watch how Derek interacted with Jenna, look for signs of him monitoring or controlling her. I arrived at Jenna's house at exactly 7, carrying wine and trying to look casual. Jenna answered the door in yoga pants and an oversized sweater that hung off her frame. She'd lost more weight than I'd realized. She hugged me and I felt how thin she'd gotten, her shoulder blades sharp under the fabric. She smelled like vanilla perfume, but underneath was something stale, like she hadn't been outside in days. We settled in the living room and I noticed immediately how sterile everything looked. The house had always been neat, but now it looked like a showroom. No books left open, no coffee cups visible, no shoes by the door. Then I saw the security camera mounted in the corner, pointed toward the couch where we sat. Jenna asked about my job and dating life with enthusiastic interest that felt performative, like she was playing the role of engaged best friend. I answered while scanning the room. I counted 3 cameras total: living room, kitchen doorway, hallway. When I asked about them, Jenna said Derek had installed a security system after break-ins in the neighborhood. The idea that Derek could be watching us right now made my skin crawl. The pizza arrived and Jenna paid with cash from an envelope in the kitchen drawer, which was odd since she'd always used cards. We sat at the table and she served us each slices, giving herself 2 pieces of the Hawaiian half. I watched as she took a bite. Her throat worked like she was forcing herself to swallow something unpleasant. I asked her directly why she'd suddenly decided she liked pineapple pizza. She laughed and said she'd just decided to give it another try. That tastes change as you get older. But her hands were shaking as she reached for her water glass, and when she lifted it, I saw a faint yellowish bruise on her wrist. I asked if she'd hurt herself. She pulled her sleeve down immediately and said she'd bumped into a door frame. The explanation came too quick, too defensive. I asked when Derek would be home and she glanced at the microwave clock. "Any minute now," she said. Full story on my channel and linked below.